everyone. Today I'm going to tell you about Texas Longhorn cattle. They're an American breed of cattle known for their distinctive long horns and diverse coloring. And they pretty much make the stuffed animals all look close to the same color. They're different patterns, but this is what they look like. They typically don't have bows in their fur, bows on their horns, but this is a stuffed animal, so what do you expect? I gotta find a place to put this cow. And these are more. This is by Jamanda. This is Douglas. And this little girl. And this one is by Build-A-Bear. This is the small one. I have the giant one. I didn't want to bring him in here. This place is already crowded enough without a giant longhorn in here. But that's what they look like. This is what they look like. And they're American breed of cattle known for their distinctive long horns and diverse coloring. And their colors, a lot of these cattle, like up to 40% of them, their colors include red. But they can be any color. And just like with any hybrid designer breeds, they can be any color, and they can be solid or they can be spotted. And the spotted and the solid cattle are almost equal in proportion. There's almost equal number of spotted or solid cattle. So if you have Texas Longhorns and you're going to have a calf, most likely if they're both solid, they would have a solid calf. If they're both spotted, they'll have a spotted calf. But it's not a guarantee, because you could have a spotted or a solid calf. They are descended from Spanish cattle brought to the Americas, and they have tells when I wrote where they brought them over here. They were brought from Spain, not the Texas Longhorns. There was a breed, the Spanish Retinto or Criollo, and English cattle, and their bloodlines come from cattle brought from Spain by the conquistadores in the second voyage of Christopher Columbus in about 1512. Or maybe before that, I'm not sure, but they do have a higher tolerance of heat and drought than most European breeds, and they have really good heat tolerance. That's why I say if I was a cow, there's a really good chance I would be a Texas Longhorn, because I'm very heat tolerant. But they are heat tolerant, they're drought tolerant, and they're not picky grazers most of the time. Tex might be at Longhorn Lester's or I'm a Survivor, but yeah, he's a bushy longhorn. And their most recognizable feature is their horns, as you can see. Their horns. And they can grow very long. And sometimes their horns are more than 8 feet long. And a Texas Longhorn steer, which is steer, if you don't know, is a castrated bull, is a bull that's had a bull vasectomy. He holds the world record for the longest horn span on a living animal, and his horn span was 11 feet, 1.8 inches from tip to tip. And he broke this record in 2019. So if he's still alive, and I hope he is, his horns are probably a little bit longer, but now when they grow up, their horns grow a little bit slower than they do in their calves. So his horns are growing slowly, but they're still growing. And this steer, his name is Bucklehead, and I'm trying to do a touch screen on a laptop and it's not working. What is this? I'm supposed to be finding Bucklehead. Just a minute, I will give you Bucklehead, and if I can get through all of this nonsense. This is just trying to show you the bull, or the steer. And this is Bucklehead, and he has very long horns, and he's got a pretty coloring. He's got a brown, reddish, kind of brownish red face, and white body with little reddish brown spots. And his horns are very long, and I don't know if I can find a video of him, but it showed, I don't know if it was him or another one, going through doors at, was it Tractor Supply or Lowe's Home Improvement, one of them. And these cattle will tilt their head if they're trying to go through a doorway or a gate that's more narrow than their horn span. They will tilt their head to fit through there. They know where their horns are. They know how long their horns are. And this was Bucklehead, and I'm trying to find a video of him. And these are the Longhorns in 2019 that here's Bucklehead again. You can really see his horn span, how long it is. And I can't edit right now. My computer that I was using to edit won't work with my editing software, so I have to find other software or something. And I don't know what this is. If this is a cattle page, or a cattle. I thought the chart was on here of all of these cattle, but I can't find it. So, I want the picture on here, and I cannot find it. I cannot pull it up, but go to images. And these are more Texas Longhorns. Here's another one of Bucklehead. I want to show you Danica and the other ones because there are other record-breaking Longhorns out there. Cowboy Tough Checks holds the record for the longest horn span on an intact bull at 8.6 feet. And there's 3S Danica. She's a cow. And she holds the record for a cow, with 104.4 inch horn span, which is 8.7 feet. And their horns keep growing throughout their lives, often leading to record updates. And they are a hybrid breed, a designer breed, resulting from mixing of Spanish Retinto or Criollo and English cattle. And their fur, I told you about the fur color. It can be any color or mix of colors, and red is probably one of the most common colors, and it looks like white is another very common color in them. And also they can have red and black. I've seen red and black Longhorns, and they're very pretty. And there's also the solid brown, the solid red, and some solid white ones, but I haven't seen a whole lot of those. But Santiana at I'm a Survivor Sanctuary, she's a solid white one. And let's see if I can find Santiana. Let's see who all this is. They keep wanting to show you these same cattle. So I'm going to go to Facebook, and I'm going to find, or possibly have to go to YouTube, and I'm find Santillana. On I'm a Survivor Sanctuary. They want to show me everything about the sanctuary. And we can go to Longhorn Lester's if he has a page on Facebook. But they have a lot of Longhorns at this sanctuary, and it also he has a business, Longhorn Lester's. And okay, this is a baby Longhorn. Can't see the horns on the mother or the father back there behind. But this is a baby Longhorn at Longhorn Lester's. And try to find, there's a lot of Longhorns on that page. There's a lot of, because they have the Longhorn Lester's business and they also have the sanctuary. So, and how fast I'm going to be able to find Santillana and Tex. Because they are, Tex is pretty well known. He went viral for like tearing things up and opening and eating all the cubes and all the stuff he does. Throws a barrel around. He is a wild Longhorn. So I'm just gonna Google. It's not showing me. And here she is, this solid white Longhorn. This is Santillana. And she said, I'm a Survivor Sanctuary in Longhorn Lester's. And I'm not sure if she was rescued by the sanctuary or acquired by Longhorn Lester's. But she is a pet. She's safe. She will live out her life because it is a combination of a business, like Longhorn business that deals with pets and show cattle. And they're also a sanctuary. So these cattle are safe and they will not go to any kind of auction or market or slaughterhouse or anything bad. Oh, and the bull is Tex. I didn't realize. That's Tex and Santillana. Notice he's dark brown and white instead of red and white. He's darker brown and white. And it's Tex and Santillana. And then I'm gonna look up Bevo. He might be one of the most famous Longhorns. And we'll try to find. Okay, here's Bevo. And he has 2 handlers at all times when he's out there on the field. And I think that's just for, like, protocol or, like, rules, safety rules. Because Bevo really is, or this Bevo really is a calm bull. And he's not going to, like, go running through the crowds creating a disturbance. He just hangs out. Okay, I just saw a funny fake AI headline, and this is the first Bevo. This is November 30th, 1916, and this is a black and white picture. You can't really see what color he is, but I'm guessing he's kind of a brownish, reddish color and white, because that's what Bevos have been my whole life. And this is the first Bevo right here, this black and white picture. He's a Longhorn. He's probably the most famous Longhorn. I think I've told you about the most well-known ones are Bevo and the ones at Longhorn Lester's and the record breakers. And here's another Bevo. And then we're going to move on to Ricardo. And I hope you're able to see Bevo, because I'm not really sure. I will be glad when I can edit again. But I got to find... and then we're going to go to Skyland Sanctuary. Skyland's Animal Sanctuary and Rescue. And that is where Ricardo lives. And we're going to try to find Ricardo. Because Ricardo is one of their more well-known rescues. Not completely their most well-known is probably Freddy. The one that was rescued 10 years ago. He escaped slaughter. So I'm going to look up Ricardo. Ricardo at Skylands. Hopefully we're going to have him. They're showing him as a calf. Okay, this is Ricardo, how he looks now. This is Ricardo. And he looks really good now. He's a Texas Longhorn that is living in New Jersey. So hopefully he's also cold tolerant, or at least cool tolerant, because New Jersey's a lot colder than Texas. Except in summer. The New Jersey can get up to like in the 90s. And he should be happy then. This is Ricardo. As a calf, when he was rescued, like more or less a teenager version, like a calf version of a teenager, which he wasn't literally in his teens because their lifespans are different than ours. But this is Ricardo at the time of his rescue. And then this is him. Again, and I shared this picture, but I shared it from... this is Ricardo. And... it's Texas Longhorns. They're a nice breed of cattle. And from what I see, most of them are pretty well behaved, but they can be kind of wild and rowdy, so probably don't want to have them downtown if you live downtown. If you're lucky enough that your city or town doesn't have restrictions on pets, because I would have probably smaller breeds than them, but I would have cattle in my yard if I could. I live downtown. Almost downtown. Like, you'd still consider me downtown. I live walking distance to the research center in Kannapolis. So, I can't have cattle here, and I wish I could. Except for stuffed animals and little yard statues and stuff like I've got. But, that's Texas Longhorns. And if I'm not sponsored by any of these companies, but this is a little Bevo, and he's not, see it says Bevo, but he's not the realistic color. Bevo, the real Bevo has a lot more white in him. His fur, we can go back to Bevo and show you that a lot of times the stuffed animals are not made to look completely like the real version. So, I'm going to find this little Bevo, big Bevo. And this is a real Bevo, and you can see he has a lot more white than the stuffed animal, but this was a Bevo, and I don't know if he's designed by... This is an old Bevo. I've had him for so many years. And he's by Collegiate Licensed Product. I don't know if they're still in business or not. But this one is Build-A-Bear. If you want to go to Build-A-Bear, they have this size. They have the next size up, like this. They have also the next size up with the shorter horns that's supposed to look like a calf. And then they have the standard Build-A-Bear size and the giant size if you want to go to Build-A-Bear and get a Longhorn, whichever size you want. Obviously I have all the sizes. These are Douglas. A little countable. This is Jomanda. This is a company out of England. And she came from, and I don't know what company she's from, but my guess is where I bought this from is a lady that gave her that puts ear tags on them. I don't know where this cow has been, but her letter is coming off her ear tag. But put the ear tags on them, and sometimes put bows on their horns or on their ears or wherever. And this is, if you want to follow them on Facebook and join the group, it is Blues Moose, and it's in Florida, in Central Florida, and she will ship anywhere in the United States and Canada. And I'm not sure if she ships outside of the United States and Canada, but she will ship anywhere in the United States and Canada. And it is cheaper to ship in the United States than it is to ship to Canada. But you can get these animals if you live in the United States or Canada. And that's all I have about Longhorns for today. I don't know the ages and the cattle knowledge levels of everybody who will be watching this. So I'm not going to give you all the scientific stuff about Longhorn cattle, even though I do know it. Cattle are a special interest of mine and have been since I was 4 years old. And I have been studying them that long because I could read into languages since I was 4. And I've read a lot of stuff about cattle and watched a lot of documentaries and YouTube videos about them. So, took classes in school about them, about farm animals that had more than cattle. So that got me on the rabbit trail of studying all farm animals. And so that's Longhorns, what would interest the general public. And if you want to go to the Facebook page or the YouTube channel of I'm a Survivor Sanctuary and Longhorn Lesters, you can see all the animals they have. They have Longhorns. They have other breeds of cattle that are rescues at the I'm a Survivor Sanctuary. And they have other animals. They have pigs. They have emus. They have chickens, goats, sheep. So they have a lot of, and horses. They have a lot of different animals there. If you want to follow their YouTube, Facebook, Instagram pages. So, I hope you have a good Moo Day. It is Moo Day now. It's renamed the I've renamed the days of the week revolving around farm animals. So today is Moo Day. So happy Moo Day.